Woo, home stretch.
Alright.
Oh man.
I just can't wait. I just can't wait to
know.
see the... Oh, I mean, already, look how it looks.
I know, it's just... Look at this fucking movie. And not in the way that you often use... You'll often call a game a movie as a slur. Like, oh man, you watch it more than you play it.
Yeah.
Look at you, Telltale. But like, look at this. There's just immediate step up. Hey, why do you make me a good deal? Fucking...
That's what I feel like's going on here a little bit. Man, sweet rabbit ladies.
Yeah, the Viera weren't in Final Fantasy Tactics, which is the first time. This takes place in Ivalice, and Ivalice originated in Tactics, but in that it was just like humans and I think maybe Mughals. I don't know, I can never get through Tactics, it's way too fucking slow. Also, Ash's wedding dress it's about on par with all the clothing we had in Final Fantasy X. 10 is the horniest Final Fantasy, but this one does give it a run for its money.
Oh, yeah.
It actually makes sense, though, because they do live in a desert.
Yeah.
Like, in 10 it made sense because they were in the tropics.
Wow, this looks good.
Doesn't it just look good? Doesn't it just look like they sat down and probably just read a couple books in directing?
Oh man, look at that, like, that light bouquet.
Yeah.
Like, that just, like, that, everything looks so good.
It just looks great. I know. Image illustration, Yoshitaka Amano. Right up front this time. I don't remember, I may not have noticed, but I don't remember Yoshitaka Amano being presented up front and center like that in any of the previous ones.
I don't either. It may be that maybe they thought Western audiences just didn't give a fuck, but by this point they were like, you know what, they really give a fuck.
Well, this was 2006, and so it would make sense that with the internet and people starting to dig into the history of games, that people look at this motherfucker, this Chippendales model, prepared for war.
He's just got the cuff.
Yeah,
the cuffs on his wrist.
Sometimes video games give you jokey costumes like that. I want that costume. Just the bow tie and the cuffs for your beefy beefcake. But, this was 2006, and people were really starting to finally dig into the history of games on a massive scale, and I imagine people were starting to realize, like, oh, Yoshitaka Amano is responsible for 90% of the look of Final Fantasy. And this is just Star Wars.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Isn't
this is
weird?
super duper Star Wars.
This whole game is basically Star Wars, but this moment in particular is Episode 1. It's fucked up.
So when did Episode 1 come out?
99. So it was already 7 years old by this point. The whole prequel bullshit was done.
So they had plenty of time to take the inspiration.
Yeah. And make something way better than the Star Wars prequels. Now that you're one of us, you get to wear the armor that exposes the collarbone.
Oh boy.
That's worth 90% of the human body heat is radiated from the collarbone, so as long as you don't cover that up, you're fine in the desert. Yeah, we're totally gonna win this war! Let's go, guys! That's how it works, right? The war the story opens up with, you win? Good guys with our shoe ships?
Yeah.
Our Bayonetta ships? Oh, fuck, we're dead.
Oh,
I'm dead.
Fast.
Yeah.
That was quick. I mean, everything changed.
Yeah.
It wasn't even a time lapse. It was just...
Immediately. Oh.
We're in the nightmare world now.
Oh, wait, their ships are way bigger.
And they have guns and they can fly fast. What?
We just fly slow. That's all we do.
They just pilot these, like, Mario green boot ships around, hoping to stomp on their enemies.
Yeah.
Hoping to stomp on their enemies and safely cross spikes. And these fucking TIE fighters show up.
It's fuck. One TIE fighter would fuck up everything in Final Fantasy. Sephiroth was trying to do his shit, and then one TIE fighter just lights him up. Oh, well, that solved that problem.
Who was that guy? I don't remember. Ooh, burn on Sephiroth.
Yeah.
Can't even fucking remember him. That's the worst thing.
Yeah, that's the worst thing for Sephiroth, I guess. Even though that wasn't his driving force at all in Final Fantasy VII.
But for some reason in Advent Children, he just really...
He's just all about it.
Just fucking remembering. Sephiroth. Never forget.
Like 9/11. When you think about 9/11, also think about Sephiroth. Just, I don't know. Those two kind of go together, I guess.
Whoa!
It just seems really unfair to attack clergy like that.
Yeah.
Like, can't you just tell them to sit down? They're old, infirm, and unarmed. They're not even like fantasy monks. They're just real-ass monks.
They don't have the strange power that only grows with their age. They're just old.
Don't worry, Lord Wrestler, I killed him. You're fine. Oh no, if only you'd worn collar armor.
Oh my gosh. At least he's keeping cool.
Yeah. At least I won't die in my own sweat. Oh, no swamp ass on my corpse. Lord Wrestler, you're going to shit yourself. Damn it all.
These enemy soldiers have the grumpiest face masks.
They do. And you probably shouldn't have a massive air battle like directly above all the infantry.
Or it's exactly where you want it to happen.
Yeah, as long as it's like the enemy right above the enemy infantry. Like, oh, park their Karibo shoe ships. Akihiko Yoshida.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. Every time we go to Ivalice in Final Fantasy, it's always just getting fucked up.
Now who will give me their boner? I'm a widowed bonerless widow. That's a term we have in Ivalice.
We're a stupid country, but damn it, it's our country.
There goes Ashley. She's a bonerless widow now.
Yeah.
She has to wear like a special letter that lets everyone know.
She has to wear, well, basically it's truck nuts, but they're just like balls, but there's no dick, and so it's like, okay.
That's a hell of an intro to a Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
For not being able to play any of it, it was very engaging and did not open states.
No, it's been like, what has it been? It's been 7 minutes, and it didn't feel like 7 minutes. I thought it'd been 3 or 4.
Dalmasca had been set adrift at the mercy of history's restless tides. At this time, two great empires struggled for dominion
voice
over
acting.
Ivalice.
It's off the chain in this one.
East,
Like, right away.
Zodiac, the West. The invasion of the Kingdom of Nabradia was Arcadia's first step in its westward march.
Okay.
With Lord Rossla's beloved homeland
the green
consumed
people?
by the hellfires of war, it seemed
Oh, they
clear
smell
that
bad.
Arcadia
We
would
just...
soon need alternatives.
Whenever we encounter people who smell bad, we paint that part of the world green just so everyone else
It's
knows.
not that it's occupied by anyone, it's actually fart fumes. That's why it's green.
In this Final Fantasy, there are just like 1,000 acre wide clouds of farts that roam around.
But against the martial might of the Arcadian armies, they stood little chance of victory. Indeed, their defeat was to be absolute.
So that cheering crowd we saw at the start, literally all those people are dead.
Peace, or as one might rather put it,
Or did they just like
surrender?
give them free cell phone plans the minute before, so they're all really excited? Oh my god!
Yeah.
And
I'm
my
gonna be
dear
saving like $70 a
had no
month. This is
choice but to
sweet.
accept these terms. It was, thus, only with reluctance that he set out for Nalbina Fortress, now under Arcadian occupation, to affix his seal to the Emperor's Treaty of Peace.
And the Emperor just has a treaty of
The
peace,
king
like,
had scarce
just
departed
on
his
his
royal
naked
city
laugh.
of
He's like,
Ravenasta.
come on, seal
The
it.
order made
Do
their
it.
return,
Come on.
Every time you go to like seal it, his dick slaps your
Yeah.
hand. You're like,
and
ew.
awaited them.
His
Come on.
prehensile penis just... whoosh.
Come on, don't let that scare you away. Good God.
Yeah. Come on, don't you want peace for people? Well, I do, but I want... Fine. Just the image of this old-ass king just going, fine.
As you're reaching for this seal and like a this prehensile dick's just jabbing at your knuckles.
Yeah.
It's as I feared. They're slowing us down.
This one passed out even though we snuck into the fortress. I
Not
mean,
all of us are here for love of battle. He fights to defend his homeland. Your name?
Rex, sir. My name's Rex.
Good.
that's a dumb name. I'm calling you Jared.
You bore a few cuts.
Jared from Subway.
Yeah.
That'll be your name.
Can you stand?
What Subway?
I don't know, but it has a ring to it. Yeah, I guess. See, no collar armor. It's important in the desert that your collar be exposed.
Did they just like really go,
fine,
man? You know
sir.
it's really sexy.
How old are you,
The
Rex?
collarbone.
Maybe Yoshitaka Amano has a thing for collarbones.
Like at this point in his life,
Yeah.
he's just like, you know what? Everything else is nice, but I've seen it all. It bores me now. Like I gotta seek pleasure in other parts.
What part of the human body has yet to give me a boner?
You're barely old enough to be a man.
Collarbones. And he's just sitting there fingering his zone. He's like,
No, sir.
yeah.
I want to
Yeah.
fight for my homeland and for my parents.
Time, Bosch. Save the discussion for later. We must reach the king before they act, or all our efforts will be in vain.
Oh man.
Spoiler alerts. It's all in vain.
So Rex is just the not protagonist.
Yeah, he's the protagonist. He's the protagonist, not protagonist brother.
Godspeed.
We get the lame guy for protagonist, and there's plenty of cool guys and ladies.
So here's the story behind Final Fantasy XII. Punello and Vaughn. I can't even remember his fucking name when I played this game 2 months ago. Punello and Vaughn
Keep your wits about you. You'll make it.
weren't supposed to be in this game. This game was notorious for having executive meddling. Apparently, it took a long time to make, much longer than they intended, and its original vision was hampered and co-opted by executive leadership. The original director got taken off of it, replaced with another guy. Van and Pinello weren't supposed to be in here, but a fucking producer, I think it was like, you gotta put a couple of kids in there to hook the youngins.
It's like, but don't our 30-year-olds already look like they're 16?
And don't our 16-year-olds look fuckable? Like, don't we already hit every demographic in every one of these games? I feel like this period of gaming, the mid-aughts, just before the 360 or just after the 360 and the PS3 came out, I think this is when we really started to see executive meddling starting to influence games negatively.
Because there were never really like, I mean, there were
I'm sure there were. Like, you look at certain things like Crash Bandicoot.
Yeah.
Universal had some issues with Naughty Dog and gave them very, very short times to make those games, but they made it work and they got to make the game they wanted to make. It's just like they didn't have long to do it. But like this is the period of time where I first start to hear stories of executives being like, no, make the game like this so that it appeals to a certain demographic because we're convinced that will make the game sell better or something.
What's bullshit is that nobody was complaining about no children in any Final Fantasy up to this point.
Never.
I mean, there have been children characters, but there's never been like...
I never got done with Final Fantasy 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and said, man, I wish there had been some young precocious teenagers in there. I didn't get done with 7 and go, man, Yuffie's my favorite character.
Like, I don't even think that children would really, like certain kids, I mean, obviously, like, you know, we were those kids, but at this point in time, I can't imagine that audience really being into this game.
Especially not this particular Final Fantasy. It's not grim,
Captain?
but as far as all the Final Fantasies we've played to date for the year Final Fantasy, this is the most serious of them.
Already?
Already. There's, in the first 7 minutes, a war was started and lost, and now we're just trying to keep the king from being assassinated. Like, this is easily, other than Tactics, which this is effectively a continuation on, taking place in Ivalice, there hasn't been a Final Fantasy as serious or straight face as this one. So they didn't add these two fucking dopey children, one of whom's a dancer and the other has these dumb, well, he had these dumb exoskeletal abs originally, but they buffed those out, who nobody likes, everyone hates, and frankly, they have no bearing in the story. Vaughn has no effect on the story at all. Pinello exists to get kidnapped.
And didn't they make another game that just solely featured those two, like a
I have it. In fact, on the DS they made Revenant Wings, which
to try to justify those characters, or what?
It could be like it's not even an RPG. It's kind of an RPG. It's weird. It's kind of an overhead isometric like tactics. Kind of an RTS.
Oh shit.
Yeah. Limit breaks in this one are very, very cinematic.
Fuck.
Yeah, he can just throw a Kamehameha, apparently.
Tonberry.
An antlion. All the ships are named after monsters and summons.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of a better word to describe it because words like mature or adult don't quite get the meaning across.
Yeah.
But yeah, like this is a very different tone for a Final Fantasy.
Yeah, what is it? It's not even... I almost want to say it's dour, but it's more uplifting than dour.
But
It's like I'm sure right after we're done recording, I'll think of the perfect word, as tends to be the situation.
And it's not like I mean, I'm sure the subject matter's on par for Final Fantasy because the stories in Final Fantasy never shied away from being like, you know.
Oh, they never shied away from being dark when they need to be dark and raising the stakes when they need to raise them, or even straight up killing characters when characters need to die. I mean, look at 10. 10 on the surface, I mean, it's literally bright and cheery, but then there's sin being beneath the ocean, symbolic for deep-seated, darkness and whatnot. And you realize, the whole pilgrimage is just to throw away a summoner's life to buy a few years of peace for everybody. So 10 starts off seeming real bright and cheery, then you very quickly realize, no, that's not the case at all. So they've never shied away from being serious, but this one, it's much more political than any of the other ones, even though you're doing fantasy bullshit the whole time. It's all like, I gotta establish the fact that I'm really the princess, because that's important. Like, they address it a couple of times, and it's something that I love that they address. It's like, social media doesn't exist. Media doesn't exist in this world, so no one really knows what Princess Ash actually looks like. So if she were to just show up and be like, I'm Princess Ash, they'd be like, are you really? Do you got any proof? No? Well, we're gonna kill you now for pretending to be the princess. Oh.
But then how do you prove? That's it.
Exactly. Yeah. So a big chunk of this game is just Ash trying to prove that she's actually Princess Ash, and trying to forge alliances to go fight the Empire, because it's always the Empire.
Always. Yeah.
But even though it's always the Empire, you really feel like it's an actual empire. Like it's very grounded.
Yeah.
It's very at the not
like
surface
you feel
level.
like
you're at ground level. Like you're just fighting foot soldiers in this fucking enemy castle who have been sent to specifically hunt you. It's not. Granted, they're just random nameless mobs that you're killing over and over, but they don't. It's not the random encounter sort.
You feel the oppression.
You feel the oppression, yes. And you talk to soldiers in town because town's occupied. It really feels like an actual empire, and that's probably the fact that this game is structured the way it is, to where you don't go in random battles, you don't have a traditional overworld, you're always at this kind of camera level. It puts you real down and deep in there personally, whereas usually you're at like an eagle-eye view, or even in 10, where you do have random encounters, you get yanked out of that view, and so it does feel impersonal. Here, the Empire feels like they're constantly a threat and they're oppressing you. So yeah, it didn't fucking need a bleached white
to get
Aladdin.
Back to the point, yeah.
It didn't need a bleached white Aladdin and a dancer girl with an admittedly cool-looking outfit.
Yeah, they're kind of like she has like shorts or something. I don't know.
She's got like it's kind of like
overalls?
it's like
I
a
don't
skin
remember.
it's like a skin tight thing, but it kind of like goes down to she's got the big
I feel
boots like in Hero Academia. Like it's you'll see in a minute. Like it's real cool.
I feel like saying a Final Fantasy character has a skin tight outfit is like not really helping.
Well, look at Rex. He's going into war and his midriff is bare.
Well, I guess it's either skin tight or just skin.
Or yeah. Fucking every time they depict Bart's from Final Fantasy V in any other game, like the city of Final Fantasy, I'm like, wow, Yoshitaka Amano really pictured that guy as androgynous, and that did not come across in 5. But now that they can make him, look at these cod pieces everywhere.
Oh man,
My sexy brethren, now who will dance?
the score. I mean, it just music's always been good, but it's just really playing a really good role now.
By being barely there. Yeah.
What?
Captain, why?
Are my eyes so
Our
big?
king, what
He's
have
got that
you
like
done?
cheek highlight that anime girls have on
Yeah.
their knees and boobs. And...
Oh yeah. And sometimes you go too far with it, and so it looks like a fucking like pimple that's about to burst, and you're like, ew, you took it just too far.
Seize the insurgent.
It's not botched at all, is it? Or is it?
No, it's not. I mean, we learned that pretty quick.
Well, so much for peaceful negotiations.
We'll never surrender to you. We are not cattle to be sold by a traitor king.
But the war is over, my dear Captain.
You literally lost every soldier you had. Your king wasn't a traitor. You're trying to make sure the rest of you didn't die.
And think, we intended to let you keep some of your sovereignty. Out of respect.
We were going to let you keep Taco Tuesday.
Man, I don't
Now
know.
it will be pushed to Wednesday.
Oh, no.
No!
That doesn't make sense.
Why would it be Taco Wednesday? Waffle Wednesday makes sense.
No,
Waffle Wednesday's been moved to Sunday. No, damn it!
Hate you for it.
Szechuan Sunday! Where's that going?
captain away.
Leans in close. Mondays.
It sucks in a world of like mostly naked, you know, sexy people and other beings that poor Rex has to die just looking at
Yeah,
a bunch of dudes,
a bunch of
armored
dude-
feet.
Yeah, the extra clothed feet. Which undoubtedly are extremely sexy underneath those layers of boots.
Oh man.
Yeah, just the sexiest feet boots.
Pretenses of peace left by the wayside, the Arcadian forces resumed their advance toward Rabanasta. Dalmasca's doom had
I like
been
these names.
decided.
Rabinaster.
Oh yeah,
Damasca.
they're fantastic
Resistance would
names,
serve no
which
end.
13
With this
should have paid
foremost in
attention
my
to.
thoughts, I, to the
They're
people
just
of
throwing
Dalmasca,
around fucked up like the Falsi
sons
and the
and daughters of
Lussi
Dalmasca,
and the
I bid you lay
fucking
down your arms. Raise songs of prayer in their stead. Prayer for His Majesty King Raminas, ever merciful, a man devoted wholly to peace. Prayer too for the noble Princess Ash, who, wrought with grief at her kingdom's defeat, has taken her own life.
Oh no! Well, she didn't have long hair, so she couldn't cut that off. So I guess suicide is the only other option.
She could've got, like, a little tattoo or something.
Yeah.
His Royal Majesty King Raminas has been found guilty of high treason
Or like a
and put
bracelet.
to his
Yeah.
death.
Like a real cool
They
bracelet
who
with
at this
charms
late
on
hour
it.
Yeah,
choose
so that when
still
when
the
she needs to pick me up,
sword
she
are cut of
looks
the
at it,
same
she's like,
cloth
"That's
as
what
the
I'm fighting
captain.
for," and there's like a
Traitors
goofy
who would
Pikachu
lead
on it.
Yeah.
Dalmasca to her
It means a lot to her.
All these charms so that when people are hanging out with her at a bar, she can tell you about what each little charm means.
Yeah.
was soon to follow.